Jung discovered something terrifying. Nearly 3/4 of his most dangerous patients showed one identical warning sign before they became destructive. The catch? It doesn't look like danger. It hides inside people who seem charming, kind, even harmless. But once you see it, you'll never unsee it. The red flag. This red flag isn't about shouting, fighting, or obvious toxic behavior. It's subtle, and that's what makes it deadly. Jung realized it appears when someone begins projecting their shadow onto others and does it with total, unshakable conviction. The case that changed everything in 1913. Jung treated a man who seemed brilliant, kind, articulate. But Jung noticed something that froze his blood. Everyone this patient described as evil or manipulative, they all shared the exact same traits. Traits Jung recognized as the patient's own. This man wasn't just mistaken. He was systematically dumping his denied darkness onto everyone around him. Within 6 months, he had destroyed 3 relationships, gotten 2 colleagues fired, and shattered his own brother's mental health, while looking like the innocent victim the entire time. Why it's so dangerous. Here's the terrifying part. Modern neuroscience shows that when projection takes over, the brain rewrites reality. It's not lying. It's delusion. They believe their warped version of you, and worse, they make others believe it too. Jung called this a reality distortion field. One person's unconscious lie becomes a group's shared truth. And suddenly, you're living inside someone else's nightmare. Have you felt this? Think of the last time someone accused you of motives you never had, or feelings you never felt, and they said it with such certainty. You started questioning yourself. That's shadow projection. That's psychological gaslighting at its most lethal. The 5 warning signs. Jung identified 5 red flags. 1. Absolute certainty. They don't say, I think. They say, you are. 2. Immunity to evidence. No proof can change their mind. In fact, your defense becomes proof you're guilty. 3. Emotional overreaction. Explosive emotions that don't match reality. 4. Victim narrative. No matter the story, they're always the one being wronged. 5. Recruitment. They quietly convince others to see you through their warped lens. See these 5 together? You're not in a misunderstanding. You're in danger. The escalation pattern. Jung mapped out how it spreads. Stage 1. Subtle accusations. Stage 2. Unshakable certainty. Stage 3. Reality distortion. Everything you do gets twisted. Stage 4. Recruitment. They warn others about you. Stage 5. Collective possession. Now the group sees you through their eyes. Stage 6. Exclusion. The group turns, and you're left isolated and broken. The key is escaping early by stage 2 before the fire spreads. But shadow projection isn't the only danger. Jung also found other deadly psychological traps. Ego inflation, or the savior complex, where someone believes they're the chosen one, morally superior, spiritually evolved. They aren't narcissists, they're worse, because people willingly hand them power. Persona perfection. The perfect mask. They never slip, never show flaws, never break character. But beneath that polished act, the shadow builds like a pressure cooker until it explodes. Archetypal possession. When someone stops being themselves and becomes a mouthpiece for something ancient, the savior, the warrior, the eternal victim. They radiate absolute certainty that seduces people until the shadow flips and they become the very thing they claim to fight. Repetition compulsion. People who recreate the same painful story over and over, dragging new people into old dramas. You'll end up cast as the villain in a script written long before you arrived. How to protect yourself. Jung's survival rules are simple but life-saving. 1. Trust your gut. If someone's version of you doesn't match your own reality, believe yourself. 2. Don't argue. You can't logic someone out of a delusion. 3. Limit what they know. Don't give them ammunition. 4. Keep receipts. Write things down. Projection always rewrites history. 5. Reality check with others. Talk to people outside the distortion field. 6. Withdraw if needed. Sometimes the only winning move is not to play. The tragic irony. Here's the cruel truth Jung discovered. The people who project the most are the ones running hardest from their own darkness. They become the very thing they hate while staying blind to it. But here's your protection. Consciousness. When you recognize the pattern, you step out of it. The moment you stop carrying what belongs to them, their projection loses power. Closing punch. The most dangerous people aren't the loudest. They're the unconscious ones utterly convinced of their own purity, while making you carry their shadow. Jung said, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." People who can't do that will try to make you the villain instead. Your job? Stay conscious. Stay clear. Protect your reality, because your awareness is the one shield that shadow can't pierce. Have you seen these signs in your own life? Drop your story in the comments. Someone else might need to hear it. And if this spoke to you, subscribe, because the next video might just save you from repeating the same trap.